Hello, pretty people. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, if you watched the Facebook Live earlier, going to be a lot of the same info. I just had to re-record it because there was some internet issues, and so it was really choppy. And so I want to have a nice clean video so you get all the information. Now, the title of this video is why you absolutely positively must start working with clients online, working with them remotely, whether you're a hypnotist or some sort of a other healer, EMDR, spiritual healer, whatever. If you're not working with people online, you absolutely must start right now. And I'll tell you, I'm going to give you, I've got about 5-6 reasons why you need to start doing it now, and a couple of tips for you as well. So, number one, and before I go on, I'm hypnotist Jim Kellner. I'm a comedy stage hypnotist, a speaker, hypnotherapist, and as you can see here, a trainer. I teach at hypnosis conference all across the nation, actually in September across the world. I'll be going to Europe to teach. I've been working with online clients for about 5 years, and between you and me, I have not noticed a single difference in the effectiveness. Whether I'm working with somebody online or working with them in person, success rate remains at around 80 to 90%, and mostly dependent on whether the client continues the treatment plan. You know, if I'd say that's really the biggest predictor of success, is whether or not the client follows their treatment plan or not. And so anyway, so number one, hey, this is kind of interesting how this has happened, but you know, with this this coronavirus, so why you must work with people online. Look, if you haven't already had people cancel on you, you're going to have them cancel on you, whether it's because of the coronavirus or some other big something that goes on, because they're afraid to be around other people. So even once this coronavirus thing is done, then whatever the next, you know, scary illness is that they're afraid of catching will come along. So you really kind of ensure that you're not going to be affected by that. And here's the thing. So number one, so the benefit here is, number one, they don't have to cancel their appointments. So you still get to make your house payment, but they also get to continue their treatment. Now, I'm not talking about people who are sick and cancel. I'm talking about people that are just afraid to leave the house to get around other people because they're afraid of catching it. Now, as a healthcare worker, you know, I was a massage therapist for a long time, and you know, I'm not too concerned about it myself. But if I had a compromised immune system, you know, elderly or cancer, if I was getting cancer treatments, things like this, I mean, sure, I might be concerned about it, and they rightly have a reason to be concerned about it. But you're going to save both of you the time and trouble and having to reschedule and that sort of thing. So give them that option. You know, you don't want to come see me? Fine, let's do it online. They're going to go, what? I can do that? Absolutely, you can. All right, so as I say, I travel across the nation, soon the world, and then I really will be world-renowned hypnotist Jim Kellner. But I spend a lot of time in Seattle and Phoenix, and I will tell you, especially Seattle, both really, but especially Seattle, if you've ever driven here, you know the traffic is absolutely horrible. And if you live in any kind of a major metropolitan area, or even just some other smaller towns where traffic is bad, you know what a pain it is. I was talking with a colleague just last week about she's got a practice in North Seattle. She said that if somebody's in South Seattle, they're probably not going to come see her because she's only available from 6 to 9, and there's no way they're going to jump in a car and try to get through, you know, rush hour traffic. No matter how much they want to work with her, it's just too much. And so you can make that offer available to them. Hey, you know what? You don't need to travel. Go sit in the comfort of your own home or in your office, and we can do it that way. The other great thing is it's going to be less stressful because, you know, your client, instead of showing up stressed, because even if you're even if they come at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or you're in some smaller town, they maybe get caught in traffic and they're going to be stressed, so they're going to be way up here. Now it's funny, an uphill battle. You got to get them down to this lower level before you can even talk about hypnosis. They're stressed, they're anxious, and it makes them not want to come back as often. Maybe they don't want to come back next time because they're going to think about how awful it is. I get that way. I don't want to go to certain places in Seattle because I'm like, the traffic. Oh, I don't want to do it. All right. The other benefit, and this is how I discovered it, is because I wanted to travel. As I say, I'm a comedy hypnotist. I'm a speaker, and I wanted to be able to travel because that's what I do. I travel for work. I want to continue working with my clients. And so if you have a dream, if you want to be a digital nomad, then there's no reason why you can't. There really is no reason why you can't. I mean, I know there are people have their hang-ups about doing this kind of work. And if you're watching this video, please comment below your questions. Also, please comment to say you loved it, or comment, that, like, comment, share, and subscribe. All those good things, please. But if you really want to travel, then this is a great option for you, because you can do sessions from literally anywhere. I'm going to talk about some online scheduling programs in the course, so that you can make it really easy to schedule with people, so that you don't have to try to correct for Pacific time and Greenwich Mean Time, and hey, what time is it in Mongolia, tomorrow, or whatever. So it becomes very easy for you to live the kind of lifestyle that you really want to live. The other part of this is a benefit to the client, because, I was working with a client recently who had very bad anxiety, and I was able to help. We were doing a series of sessions, and when it came time for about the 4th session, I believe, I was going to be out of town, but it was no big deal, because it doesn't matter. I can do sessions anywhere. I can do them in my hotel room. I can do them in my friend's spare bedroom. I can do them at the library, a conference room, anywhere. So if this wasn't the case, if I was just working with people online like I used to do, when I worked with people in Bellevue, Washington for a few years, and at first when I was in Phoenix, when I had my office there, if that were the case, then I would have to refer this client to someone else, and they may not want to see somebody else, or they'd have to hold off on their treatment plan, which is no good for anybody. So for being able to travel and still be able to serve your clients, then you need to work with them remotely. The other great thing that I love about this is, because of some of the work that I've done. I'm a TEDx speaker, and I've got a video online that's gotten, 2.5 million views now. Kids Meet a Hypnotist. A lot of fun. Because of this, I've had people connect with me from all over the world. And the great thing about being able to work with people remotely is people can work with whoever they want to work with. So if I have somebody who makes a connection with me, say they see my TED Talk, but they live in Australia, they can still work with me. They don't have to work with the person down the street, because they've made that connection. And here's a tip for you too. If you haven't already, start creating more content, especially videos, because people really will connect with you, and they're going to want to work with you. They're going to want to work with you whether they've got to work with you remotely or in person, whatever. If they've got to wait a while, I had a client recently who was a stop smoking client. I was booked out for 3 weeks because of some other stuff, and she said, "That's okay. You're a specialist. I understand. I need to wait." And so make those videos. Really try to make a connection with people, and they're not going to be satisfied working with somebody else. They're going to really want to work just with you. Also, you need to make another tip for you is make a video or write a blog or something about why a person can be hypnotized remotely or experience EMDR or EFT or whatever spiritual healing you do. Because I'll tell you, this is one of the challenges that I ran into, and I didn't know what was going on, and I wonder how many times this had come up for somebody before I knew what was going on. Because I was talking to this woman, she was in her 70s, she wanted to quit smoking, and she goes, "I've watched all your videos," and I've got lots of videos on my YouTube channel. Go check it out. And so I was like, "Really? You watched all?" She goes, "I've watched them all." She goes, "I don't know how you're going to hypnotize me online though." I go, "Well, I kind of explained the process and everything," but she goes, "But I've watched your videos." And I go, "Yeah?" And she goes, "Well, like that one video where you pulled on that guy's arm." And I was like, "Oh." So here's the thing. Especially for us hypnotists, if people have seen a video of hypnosis, what do you think they've seen? More than likely, they've seen either a stage hypnosis show or they've seen street hypnosis, some sort of an in-person demonstration, instead of, because there's not as many videos, I don't think, of the people sitting in the chair getting hypnotized, and I don't know if that many people would watch it because it's probably kind of boring. So a lot of people, their impression is going to be made from those videos that they've seen online. And so a lot of those we are using like the handshake, or I might tap someone on the forehead to hypnotize them, those kind of things. So you want to make a video or write a blog or something, get it out there that I do not need to touch you for hypnosis to happen, because we know we don't need to touch somebody, we just do different methods, and those methods that we use for street or stage are, a lot of it's just showmanship. We want it to look cool, and we're doing different types of work. So I wrote a blog for iwanttoquitsmoking.com for my friend Mark Barris, and so I can refer people to that to let them know, yes, you really can be hypnotized remotely or experience whatever. So you just need to let people know, because they don't know, they have no idea. The other benefit to doing remote hypnosis is it costs you less money. You can literally start with a cell phone and a microphone, cell service, internet service. That's all you need. You can get more elaborate, and I'll talk about some of the other equipment that you may want to look into. Things like green screen, or because I've got this ugly wall that I'm in my background, but green screen and different lighting that you could try out, or microphones and that kind of a thing. But basically, to get started, this is all you need. You need a cell phone and some earbuds or microphone kind of thing that comes with it. Probably that's all you really need. So it costs you less. You don't have to rent an office. You can sit in your bedroom, in your living room, and do hypnosis sessions. You can go to a library. You can there's a lot of options. If you don't have a quiet place, go sit in your car. That's usually a fairly quiet place. The great thing is so it costs you less, and so therefore you are able to pass those savings on to your clients. So it's a benefit to them as well, because you can, so they can pay less. And I have clients that still want to, even after we go through the whole process, and that still want to work with me in person. Some hypnotists even that I work with. I work with some hypnotists, and they still want to work in person, and that's fine. I just charge a trip fee. If they want me to come to their home or their office, or I'm happy to rent office space, I say, that's fine. But you could literally get started for probably nothing. It's not going to cost you anything. You take this class that I'm offering on March 12th, and it'll be available after that too. You can check my website. If it's after that date, it'll be there in perpetuity. But, you can get started, because I know one of the biggest stumbling blocks that I see for a lot of hypnotists that talk to me are, renting an office. I don't know if I want to put all that money out and sign a lease and all of that. Boom, you don't need to. You can start helping people immediately. You take that class, you can start working with people immediately. Very next day, you can be working with people. So there's definitely a benefit there. Cost less, right? You can get started now. The other thing, one of the things that let's just get this out in the open. One of the things that hypnotherapy clients are afraid of, or anyone's afraid of, is that the hypnotist is going to look them in the eye and make them do things they don't want to do, or is going to do things to them. Now, we all know that there are far more complaints against police officers, teachers, dentists, and doctors than there have been against any hypnotherapists in the history of the world. And so it's very rare people in our profession, do anything untoward. But people still have that kind of a fear, because they don't really understand hypnosis, and they think that we can make them do all kinds of crazy stuff. But hey, look, if they're over in Australia and I'm in Seattle, Washington, it's going to be pretty tough for me to do a whole lot to them, right? So there's a benefit there. They can relax more, and I think you will find that with clients, is that they can just they're at home. They feel safe. They're in their favorite recliner. They're on their favorite couch. I will talk about some of the things that are concerned, because that does make a challenge as well. So we'll talk about some ways to overcome challenges that they may have creating the right space for them. So that's one of the reasons that excuse me, I got a little bit of that coronavirus myself. So you want to keep that in mind. So help them feel less stressed. And I had somebody ask me last week, they said, hey, how's this program different from some of the other training programs? I don't know other training programs out there. And I don't know how my program is different from anyone else's, because I never took a training class. Because when I started doing this, nobody else was doing it. Nobody else was training. Nobody else was doing it. As far as I know, I'm sure there were people doing it, but I just didn't know. And so I had to learn all this myself. So it's taken me 5 years to learn all this stuff. So if you want to take 5 years, just do that. You don't need to sign up for the class. But no, if you find somebody who's teaching something similar and they're credible. I mean, make sure they're credible. I mean, I teach at hypnosis conferences. I've been doing this for 10 years, but I'm doing this kind of stuff, the remote stuff, for 5. I mean, hey, if they've got good credentials and they seem like they demonstrate some expertise, absolutely, you should definitely take them if their class, if they resonate with you more. Just like I would tell a client, if there's another hypnotherapist that you resonate with more, please, you should definitely go and work with them instead. So hope you sign up for mine. I know Nora Noble commented below that it was a game changer for her. That it was a great class. She took my class at Hypno Thoughts. It was a game changer. She hadn't really been doing the online stuff, and now she is, because she took the class. And I get that kind of feedback all the time. I just taught this class 6 months ago. It was much cheaper. I'll be honest with you. It was the introductory price. If you'd got it then, it would have been much less expensive. It's still really cheap. You're going to get your money back in one client easily. Next time I teach it, it'll probably be more. So I would grab it now. There are some bonuses. If you check in the notes and the comments, you'll see the bonuses and and that kind of thing. I would love to have you in class. I'd love for you to start doing this. It's so amazing. It really is, to be sitting in your friend's guest room in Phoenix and helping somebody in Paris, France quit smoking. Obviously spoke English. It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. So hey, I hope you'll take the class. There'll be a link below, and hey, I hope to see you there. Take care. Be well. Be awesome.